Thank you very much for having me here today. This is a little different from what I usually do, but I'm going to do my best here. So, normally in Coyote Kitchen, we pretty much just let the food speak for itself. That's really the mission that we have and kind of what we do. We're a tiny little kitchen, 1,200 square feet. We feed 500-600 people a day on a good football day or move-in weekend like we just experienced. So we maximize and make every inch count. And a lot of what y'all do in the college business and your graduates and the people in the industry, there's marketing people, there's sales people, there's farmers, there's fishmongers, there's coffee roasters. Don's one of our oldest relationships we have had in the high country. All these relationships kind of help create what we do in the end, And so when I was asked to speak for this event, I didn't really know what I was going to say, but I started thinking about all the good things that we try to do. But basically what we spend the most time is worrying about what goes on the plate. And, we don't really listen to what the guys in marketing tell us. And 10 years later, we're still doing it. So, statistically, if you know anything about the restaurant industry, that's pretty amazing. But, we do things like, we have had a Kobe burger patty that we've used for the longest time there at Coyote. And that burger comes all the way from Washington State. Great group of people. Awesome relationship we've had with them for years. But, one of the things that we think about that we decided that we had to do, that we wrap our heads around, not just what does it taste like, does it have enough salt? Did that grill cook who came in with a hangover, cook it medium well? Should have did it medium rare. But, we think about the carbon footprints of all things. Beef is fed corn. Corn takes diesel to grow it. There's a lot to be said about natural grass-fed products. That's one of the things that we've been looking at. We actually just brought on board a grass-fed, all-natural product. It's ironically certified Angus beef. It's coming from farms, smaller farms that aren't as big and corporate. They're coming from Pennsylvania and all up and down the eastern seaboard, Georgia, South Carolina. Got some farms in Delaware. And developing and tasting this kind of stuff, we got away from this one company, these trucks driving all the way back and forth. And so now they're just up and down the eastern seaboard, but that's one little part. When you talk about seafood, we sell piles of salmon. I can't keep salmon in my restaurant. I apologize if you showed up and I've run out, but there's a reason why we run out. I don't want to keep product in a freezer using up electricity all the time. So we go with a fresh product. I can't sell wild salmon 365 days a year. So the next best thing I can find is we use aquaculture. This is a little bit different from farm-raised product that you're used to hearing about, where they used to take all these little bays and estuaries and they would seal them off, and they would grow the fish right there, and they would do it as fast as possible, and the environmental impact would, after 5 or 6 seasons, that bay would be ruined. So now they're doing it offshore, and it's in deep water ocean, and it's a better product, and it's a little more better stewardship for the land and the water and the sea that these fish are coming out of. So, I wish I could serve that Copper River salmon that I only see for 3 weeks out of the year? That'd be awesome. But I also wouldn't hit my price point. So that's the reality of what we do. But that's one part of it. Another part that we think about a lot when we're talking about things like carbon footprint and where our products are coming back from and the relationships, is we found a great product, completely recyclable, made from corn and cooked sugarcane. These awesome recyclable products. Thought it was awesome. Coming out of Boulder, Colorado. Great product, and then one day we noticed, hey, look, this box now says made in China. So that's the next project that landed on my desk. Right now we found some guys that are down in Mooresville, North Carolina that are actually making some stuff. So let's employ some Americans for it, you know? And that was our thought on that project, you know? But all the while, I'm feeding this many people and trying to keep all that product on the shelf and all that stuff. So, you know, we have all these little storylines and relationships that go in our business. On top of that, I got about half of my employees are college students. One of my favorite things to ask them is, what is this paycheck going for? Is this beer money? Is this so you can buy tickets to your next festival, or is this how you pay your tuition? You know? And so we get to make direct interactions into these educations and help guide these kids. You know, and then we find ourselves in a year like this where, unfortunately, I have 5 supervisors that graduated in December and this past spring, and they are all leaving the nest and moving on. So we'll be pretty busy. We'll be working some extra shifts, but the cool part is we'll get to see these really awesome postcards from these guys when they land their first jobs. And they're way off, 100 miles away, 1,000 miles away, if they're international, you know, and we get to listen to the things, because one of my favorite interview questions is, you know, what's your 1-year plan? What's your 3-year plan? What are you going to be when you grow up? And, you know, they don't expect that when they're talking about washing dishes. But that's, you know, if I got a good one, I'm going to turn that dishwasher into a cook, and then I'm going to turn it into a supervisor, and then maybe after 5 to 7 years, he gets a degree at ASU. Wait, that was what it was like in the 90s. So I'll make rules about that. So after their 4 years, they move on, and they write home, and they're like, hey, chef, you remember when you told me about this? You were right. You know, so we do a lot. You know, there's that aspect of it. And then, you know, the other really cool thing that we get to do is we have people that come to us, and they're like, please support our organization. And you know what? The best way for us to support an organization or somebody else is basically what we do best, and that's we feed. You know? So we don't really get to influence a lot of different things in the community other than we participate in a lot of silent auctions, a lot of gift certificates out there, and support things like that. So in a nutshell, that's about what we do for good. So I'm going to get back in the kitchen there and get ready for the rest of lunch. And I enjoyed doing this, and I hope to see all your faces sometime in the restaurant. So thank you.